Ready to go? All right. Hello, everybody. Grady Polson here, Family First Life America, the America Agency. Beyond excited to be on here today with you. Got one of my favorite people on the planet coming on to train with us shortly, Mr. Drake Geramoni, talking about his rapid acceleration and IUL domination. Going to be a great call. If you are joining us live, welcome. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. And we're also live here on this page, theamericaagency.com/live. And you can watch us here, wherever you're coming from. Drop a hi in the chat below, or let me know where you're coming from, where you're living right now. Love to say hi to a few of you as we get this thing up, ready, and rolling. But going to be a great call, right? The focus of the company has been whole life. Final expense has been mortgage protection term, and then we've had a small caveat of IUL and final fixed index annuities. Now, granted, as valuable as those are and as profitable as those are for agents, what's easy is selling a whole life to Mary, and she gets coverage, and 10,000 goes to Janine if she dies tomorrow, and that's fine. But what's happened recently with the rapid increase of mortgage rates and the drive down of new HELOCs, refinances, purchase prices, that people have been focused more and more on securing their retirement income. And that's just been a massive component of our business model. We still do, 20 million a month in term and whole life. And now we're doing about a 20 million in index universal life. So Drake has grabbed the bull by the horns, doing mortgage protection predominantly, getting started. And then now he's transitioned significantly into IUL. So you're going to love it. If your business is where you want it to be, then I'm glad you're here because you're trying to get better. If your business is not where you want it to be, then I'm glad you're here because you're trying to get better. And that's the big reality about this thing we call life, is that if we're not trying to get better, there is no neutral. We are just dying. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Drake today. We got Sheila Day in Portland, Tennessee. Hello, miss. Great to see you. Drake Gibbons. I got two Drakes. We got two Drake G's. What is the odds, China? There's another Drake G on the call. Oklahoma. Yes, Drake, you can join FFL. You can shoot us an email at partners at FFL America, or you can message Drake on Instagram, etc. Connect with one of us. We'll be happy to connect with you. Hi, Francesca. Hi, Angela. Hi, CK. Hello from Virginia. Well, good to see so many of you on here today. I am assuring you that this call will be action-packed. So one of the best things you can do is understand the reality of life is that a party is more fun with more people. And you can go out and send the americaagency.com/live into your group chats, WhatsApps, text me's, group me's. What's it called? Text me, Slack, WhatsApp group me's, telegrams, etc. And let your team know you're on here getting ready to get better. Drake has paid over $500,000 so far year to date. In the past 2 months, he's gone back-to-back 100K months. So you're about to learn from someone who's figuring it out. And he would tell you that he, as humbly as he is, that he doesn't have it figured out. He just works hard. And we'll hear a lot of that here. But let's run through some quick updates, and we'll get Drake on here in just a few minutes as the call continues to load up. So first up, we've got China working our new system. Do you like StreamYard? Do you like this website situation? If you're joining us on YouTube, hello, Angela and CK. Hello, Vernal in Texas. A different way to do it. What'd I do? Did I break something? Is it not sharing it's not sharing the updates? It's loading. We're loading. So we'll get this thing going here. But drop in the chat. Well, there we go. We'll just go with that. Never mind. We don't need to drop anything in the chat. There we go. Drake learned how he simplifies IULs with keyword tracks that highlight wealth building and protection, delivering value and boosting agent confidence. Lead-based company right now in the CRM. Thank you, Integrity, and thank you, FFL Lead Center. 20% discount on instant internet 15-step life leads. What does that mean? A 15-step life lead is someone that went online, saw an advertisement about life insurance or protecting their family, clicked the website, went to the website, and then proceeded to, at that point, answer 15 questions about their personal health, their mortgage situation, they smoke or don't smoke, any health ailments they may have, and what beneficiary they would like to be selected. And then click the button and said, would someone please contact me to help me with my life insurance needs? So 15-step questionnaire leads are right now 20% off. Instant lead with beneficiaries, where they simply put down who they'd like to protect, so you can use that as leverage when you get a hold of them. Right now, from tomorrow through the 13th, 20% off using code BOO24. I love always the creative coupon codes that corporate comes up with. 20% off right now. Grab some heading into the weekend. Couple more updates on September end of month numbers. End of month in September 2024, we protected 10,424 families, which is an astounding number. That's over 2,500 families a week. And if math serves me right, is that 300 a day? Just an absolute in 300-ish? Yeah. No, we don't need to do it. But yeah, we're just rolling. So huge month for everybody. Congratulations, everybody that works with us, all of our partner agencies. 351 families protected a day. Incredible. So great job to all of you. Hello, Greg. Good to see you on here, buddy. Oh my God, Greg's on here, China. Awesome. All right, we got our top 20 agents for this is September numbers. This is what they wrote in just September. Now, some companies, this is what an agent will do in a whole year. At FFL, this is what agents do inside of a month. So let's shout everybody out. Julius Gilger, 41 families. Connor M, 41 families. Devin B, 41. Dylan P, 41. Austin R, 42. Rich Stemnecki, 44. Amarif Farang, 45. Simon J, 46. Elijah B, 50. Cole E, 51. Jalen G, 53. Daniel W, 53. Justin A, 53. Kerry Glass, 54. Good work, bro. Pilar A, 74. Logan O'Brien, 78. Digna De Leon Morris, 83. Just hit Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Digna. If you know her, shoot her a text. Tell her great job. Francesca Hasapes, 96 families protected. And Drake Geramoni on the call with us today. 99 families protected last month. Randall Baum, 131, absolute powerhouse. Great job, Randall. Drake, you got some competition for the top spot, bro. I don't think Randall's letting up anytime soon. So 10,424 families protected in September alone, guys. Great job. What should this mean to you? That if you're in an opportunity and you're not succeeding, or let's say it this way, if you're at FFL, if you're here with us and you're not succeeding, then it is you. Because I won't numerize it, but there are lots of people around you whom are succeeding. And the reality of life is that we can either make two choices. We can play victim to life and go, it's not fair. It is what it is. I was dealt a rough card. I grew up in a rough neighborhood. My parents didn't love me. I was ugly in high school. You can make all kinds of excuses about why we're not succeeding. Or we can go, there's people successful. There's training to be doing what they're doing. And I can choose to seek out this opportunity and go make it happen and take care of other families while protecting my own, or I can live somewhere in the middle. And I just applaud everyone on this list. I applaud everyone who went and protected one family last month. But the reality, though, is there's always got to be a number one. And this month was Randall. And great job, Randall. Just huge numbers. Congratulations, brother. Keep on crushing. From an agency standpoint, just huge numbers. Congratulations to everybody on the list. From Jordan crushing it, Nina, Bowen, always just him and Bree, husband and wife, just doing so incredibly well. Jay Masca, Marissa Mazziotti, Caitlin Blackburn, Hayden, Colton Collins, Kevin Lauterbach, Jonathan Egan, Devin Nilsson. What's your goal? Your goal should be to get on this list. And what this means is that, so let's just use, I apologize, I can't say their name, Maximilian. We'll go with Maximilian. Oh, see, there you go. Max, that's easier. Why has it got a KS in there instead of an X? Well, let's say Maximilian, for example. Him and his agency protected 326 families last month. They paid as an agency $326,000. They issued as a singular agency, Maximilian's writing, and then 10, 20, 30, 40 agents with them protected 326 families, all the way up to Jordan and his agency that protected 8,000. So this is a agency leaderboard. What's your goal? If you're here and you're selling, we love you. If you're focused on your future, we love you. But if you want to make a massive impact, it comes with protecting families and then turning around and teaching others how to do it. That's how we're a team doing 10,000 people a month. So great job, everybody out there. We'll keep on rolling, looking like a huge fourth quarter coming up. Congratulations to our Hall of Fame agents. Hall of Fame is a mark where at convention, come on stage and we put a beautiful red dress coat, red jacket on you. And that mark happens at 400,000 issue paid in a calendar year. So right now we have 12 agents in our agency alone who have issue paid over 400,000. Carrie Glass, 400, John P, 414, Digna D. Great job, Digna. We got to give her some more love, China. We'll have her on soon. 416, Matthew S, 420, Justin A, 427, Elijah B, 430, Drake on the call today, 490, Cole E, 552, Rich Semnecki, 572, Logan O'Brien, 644, Mara Magnona, 731, and the man himself, Randall Baum, protected over, has made over $1 million with us so far this year, selling life insurance. 1,028 families protected. Great job, Randall. Absolutely incredible numbers. So congratulations for the Hall of Fame, and congratulations to everybody that between now and the end of the year is going to hit that 400K mark and earn their red jacket. Coming up in January 29th through February 1st, we have our annual convention at the Irving Convention Center in Dallas, Texas. This will be my 8th convention, China? 8th convention, and just absolutely get better and better and better every year. Last year, we had 6,000-7,000 people in a room learning from some of the best trainers, best agency managers, and best producers we have in the industry. So look forward to seeing you out there if you can make it. We have keynote speakers, Eric Thomas, Deion Sanders. Let's go, Coach Prime. Tim Grover, coach to Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. That's pretty cool. Those are the ones we have. Perfect. Okay. What else we got? Ignite, huge event. This past summer, we had Ignite in Vegas, and they're doing a repeat of a big training out in, where is this at, China? It's in Palm Beach, Florida, October 21st through 22nd, 2 days. It's free. We love that. And that's coming up in 11 days. So 11 days if you're on the East Coast. I hope you're dry. If for all those in Florida, we hope you're dry and safe. And dude, the news with the storm surge. How many times did you see storm surge come across your feed in the past 7 days? Holy cow. So igniteevent.com out in Palm Beach, Florida. Look forward to having you out there. And if you're on the East Coast, make it. It's going to be a huge event. Big IUL annuity focused, and moving on. That's it. All right. That's it. All right. That's not it, but that's it. That's it for the update. So theamericaagency.com/live is the link to join us here, or you can join us on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. Now's when you want to send that text. That guy, me, is done babbling about updates and WhatsApp and nonsense. But now's when Drake is about to come on and literally drop the hammer about what he's doing to sell insurance at such a high level. So let's bring him on. I'll give him a proper intro and we'll go from there. What are you doing, buddy? How you doing?
Another day in paradise, Grady.
I love it. Will you tilt your camera down 1 inch so your head's not on the bottom third? Can you tilt it down? Is it possible? I just want to see more of you. All right. That'll do. That'll do. All right, everybody. Let me give this man a proper intro. All right, everybody. Welcome to the America Agency Call. My name is Grady Polson. Excited to be on here with you today. Coming up, our featured trainer of the day is Mr. Drake Geramoni, coming to us live from Dublin, California. Drake will tell us his story, which he is so proud to have written, and it is his story and from what he's accomplishing. But as an insurance standpoint, Drake joined us 15 months ago with no prior life insurance experience, and this past at just now has hit Hall of Fame. He's surpassed Hall of Fame at 505,000 issue paid year to date. The past 2 months, he's issued over $100,000 back to back. And it's just incredible what he's figured out and accomplished. I will tell you that it's come with every hiccup, every bump in the road, and every challenge that he could have possibly not wanted to run into. But as a man with pride and a man who wanted to make it happen and a man who wanted to take care of his family and build a beautiful future for himself, he pushed through, believed in himself, believed in the opportunity, doubled down, made great friends, and has invested in himself and invested in software and his business, etc. And now is selling insurance at an elite level. So I'm so proud to have him on here, but I'm more proud for all of you guys to get to learn from him. He is someone who, if you model his work ethic, you could have his results. And that's what's fun about business, is you get to get associated with people who you get to glean information from, learn from, and get to evolve from as a person and as a business owner. So without further ado, Mr. Drake Geramoni, how are we doing today, brother?
Another day in paradise, Grady. Thanks for that intro.
I love it, man. Every time I got you. So, well, Drake, today I've gave you some tasks, which we're going to get to. Obviously, we're going to talk about IULs, which is your baby. It's probably your toddler now. It's not your baby anymore. You've gotten pretty good at them, I would say. And we're going to dig into the two most common IULs that you will see as an agent or a new agent or an experienced agent, and just learn how Drake presents him and what he says and what he does. So we're going to dig into that. But I think more importantly, before we get there, is how we got here. And we had you on a call, I think, nearing a year ago now. And so, but people haven't seen that. People that don't know you, I would love if you'd kind of tell us your story. What you didn't just wake up one day and go, I'm done with banking for 2 decades and I want to go sell insurance from with Grady. Like, so there's life that happened in there. We've all got life. We've all got stories, and they're all lessons. But I think it's important for people to kind of hear that, where you've come from as they see where you are now and what your goals are. So if you could, for a little bit, give us some background.
Okay, if you're gonna make me instead of
every time, I'm gonna make you, bro.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. 90 days in. So how'd I do 100,000 in 90 days is kind of the YouTube channel that'll go deeper if you have any interest. But yes, Grady's very correct. In 2000, I went into the corporate America banking world, moved up very quickly, but commuting 2 hours each way, working 6 days a week, making $250,000 in California goes nowhere fast. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, US Bank, a couple credit unions. So long story short, we'll just kind of fast forward. I had a pretty severe injury on a 28-day safari in India. And when I got back, I had to have my knee pretty much redone. When it was redone, I got as fat as a horse, about 255, and I'd kept my weight off for 20 years. Went vegan, cold turkey, quit drinking, did the David Goggins 4x4x48 challenge, changed my life. Fast forward a little bit, 4 years in, kept myself vegan, didn't drink again. I was in an Uber with US Bank on the way to a conference in Minneapolis. We get hit. I got injured, and it just made me, go rewind to my injury because I couldn't do anything for 3 months. And I'm like, Grady, I got to get licensed. What do I do? So that was, I don't know, April last year. I was tied up. I couldn't do anything. I got licensed. I couldn't sell because I was with the bank until July 13th, I think was like my official day to start. Got licensed pretty quickly, just kind of dove in a little bit at that time, came on, and it was this is the first cruise ever. Whoever gets 100 grand can go. So that shocked me because of course I had to hit it just to do it. And that's where 90 days came in. So 90 days hard. So what that means to me is there's non-negotiables. So coming from the world I come from, you have to make it a habit to actually do it, maintain it, and it become a behavior. So for me, it was watching all these people for 2 months before I could even sell, because anybody and everybody who's ever been interviewed that was successful and still here, you can learn from, and people who aren't here. I took everything I could from it. And one thing that I noticed was not really ever going to change was the same thing I did in banking for 20 years is the activities to get results. So the non-negotiables for me, in the beginning, Grady called me 3 times a day. If you're not on the phone, you're unemployed. If you're not on the phone, you're unemployed. And I was trying to figure out phone burner, Zippo. I'm just hand dialing. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to have the phone ringing until people answer. So I would do call blocks in the beginning, sometimes all day, until I would get a sale, do presentations, make more appointments. And I did it 7 days a week. And the beautiful thing about this business and our license being so powerful is the time zones. So I'm in California and I get up at 2:30, exercise. At 4:30, I'm on here with Sheila Day, Francesca. We're firing up our day at 5 o'clock in the morning, my time, Pacific Standard Time. Boom, we're on the phones calling the East Coast and just moving through time zones. And if you're having a bad day and you're not achieving a sale or you're not doing presentations that you couldn't close, but you put the effort, or you're having a hard day booking appointments, call Hawaii. What's to stop you from working till midnight? It just depends on your time zone, but there really is no excuse to not hit one of the non-negotiables. So Now it's every 4 hours. I'll take like a 20-minute, 30-minute break, depending on how engulfed I am. But it's the same thing. I just keep calling until I get someone on the phone. If there's an appointment and I'm doing a sale, I pass it to my partner, Francesca. Thank you for being here. And back and forth, because we can't rely on appointments, but the activity to get them is what really got me to this point. So like, Josh would tell me, oh, you got to have at least 25 appointments a day. And I think everybody good would say that. It's true. And 90% might no show, but you get them on the second no show and you close them, or they're serious the third time around. It's just kind of a sample size and volume thing. So that's what I really had to figure out, was how much leads do I have to buy? How many do I need coming in every day to have enough to continue to do? Yesterday was a 12-hour, day. The day before was 16 hours. And it's been very successful, and I've been very happy doing it. I wouldn't change anything. If I need to leave, go to the store, I can. But ultimately, how long are you willing to crawl through the mud to get to the financial level that you're trying to get to achieve? It's kind of what I learned from Grady and the other folks that have been very successful that are still here. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I don't feel like I'm even close yet. I told Sean on the first cruise I would do Hall of Fame every quarter. So I'm really far behind where I want to be. But the momentum and what we have with IULs, it's just really no stopping us.
I love it, dude. I love it. So you jumped over, we're on a safari, and then you're in US Bank taxi, and then there was a lot going on there. But to clear, you were in banking for 25 years, correct?
Yep.
And then you got to a point where what happened wasn't there something they just were like, after 25 years, they were like, we're done? Or
They eliminated the position in California that I had, and I was going to have to go back to a non-remote position because I'd been remote almost 5 years. I'd have to go back to retail.
Got it. After 5 years of working your butt off, you're clearly a hard worker, right? So you're making this company money.
Right.
You made them some bucks, and all of a sudden, Janet hit the wrong key on the HR computer, and now there's no more position for Drake here. You've got to now go to the bank at the Ralph's, or what? Where did they want you to go work from?
It would have been in San Francisco, so it would have been that 1.5 hour, 2-hour drive each way, and I would have covered a whole territory in Northern California, but I'd have to go in. Yeah.
Got it. And so at that point, you're like, I want to. You enjoy working from your space, which is great. That's a beauty of the business, So, okay. So yes, in your first 90 days, we did challenge you to go write 100 grand, because if you did it, you would qualify for the cruise. And that's a big part about anything, right? Set a goal. Does it need to be this cruise? Does it need to be, is it a monetary goal? Is it something you want to do in your home? Is it a bank account you want to fill up? Do you want to buy something for your mom? Do you want to pay off debt? Do you want to take your wife on a trip? All those things are necessary in high performers' lives, or in anybody's lives, is setting a goal to accomplish and then working your butt off to do it. And, Les Brown says, even if you miss it, if you shoot for the moon, you'll fall amongst the stars, right? Now, there's truth in that, right? Having big goals and slightly missing, but there's a lot more value in actually pushing the crap out of yourself to make it happen. Because if you do that, now you've just unlocked another level, a seventh gear in the gearbox that puts you in a position to trust yourself, to give yourself other commandments and other challenges to go out and seek. And so I love that, what you've done. Now let's talk about your business. So you started with mortgage protection, learning all about mortgage protection, term, whole life, different ways to structure, different ways to sell it. And I want to kind of dig into leads for a second here, just kind of your investment, because people hear, $100,000 issue paid, and they go, well, he must be spending $50,000 on leads. But then that's an insane number for someone to comprehend, because people come here with a W-2 mindset, or they come here with salaried income, and they can't comprehend the exponential potential that comes from life insurance sales. And again, there's asterisks everywhere. This is all, your results are dependent on your skill set, your level of effort. You just heard the man said he worked 12 and 16-hour days. Is it hard? Hell yeah, it's hard. Are his results worth it? It's for you to determine what kind of level of results you want. I think my wife would be happy if I came home with that at the end of the month, right? But here we are. So in the beginning of your business, writing $30,000 a month, what were you investing on leads, and then now let's fast forward to where you are today, because the chasm there is the development and efficiency of your skill set. And that's the thing everybody gives up on. They don't account for compound interest. They don't account for getting compound better. Every interaction you have with a client is teaching you how to be better for the next client. The problem is people have 5 interactions with clients and they give up on the business because it's hard. I know it's hard. Anything we're doing is going to be hard in the beginning. Anything. And if it's what I tell my son, I go, if it's easy to do, it's not worth it's if it's well, I'm going to screw up that's the line, but the line is if it's easy, it's not worth doing, and if it's worth doing, it's not going to be easy. All right, there you go. I pulled it together. Thank you, China. So let's talk about leads. Right, in the beginning, mortgage protection focused. Now you've evolved to being IUL focused. Talk about your investment there.
I was never more than $1,000 a week in the beginning.
Okay.
And the max it's gotten to, I mean, there was one point, we've always used the same vendor, but just you go on a roller coaster of costs and to get leads, where I'd spend maybe $10,000 a month.
Okay.
And now for the last 3 months, I'd say less than 6.
Less than 6.
But that's because we have a good ad campaign going. It's been up and running for 3 months and it's generating more volume. So we're not purchasing them by batch anymore. We're purchasing by hit. So the more viral you go, the more leads you get, the cheaper the cost. So in theory, if we look at the number of leads, before I'd get 30 in a week, now I'm getting about 30, close to 30 a day. So that's the difference.
So question for you. Do you make any sales off leads you bought last year?
Yes, always.
How often?
All the time.
All the time. So let's look at this business like another business, which would be businesses with inventory, right? There's no spoilage here essentially, because unless the person, I guess spoilage in life insurance leads would be when the client dies,
Right.
but that would be spoilage. But in this business, if they put in a request for coverage, I love saying this about leads, and I'm going to keep saying it because it's one of my favorite things to help people understand the value of leads. Our lead model, if someone filling out a card, mailing it in, calling in a phone number and waiting for someone to call them back, or typing their personal information into the internet and waiting for a stranger to reach out to them, says and dictates that they love their family more than anybody else, because they have made a conscious decision to wait for a stranger to come talk to them about life insurance. That's pretty fascinating. When I used to do network marketing, Drake, where I have to walk around the mall and I have to recruit the proactive girl and try to get the server at Chili's to want to go start her part-time. Now, Mary, are you interested in any part-time income or side income on top of what you're currently doing? You know what? I don't know. I just need here's your chili fries. And that was part of recruiting, and I enjoyed doing it, and I enjoyed helping Mary and seeing if she did have entrepreneurial spirit and wanted to do it. But the fact I don't have to do that here, and I can just swipe my credit card and buy leads of people that love their family, and I just call them, that's what's fascinating. So the message I'm trying to get across here is that Drake has been buying leads consistently weekly, which is a challenge for new agents, is they go buy leads once and they try to call them for 3 months, versus over the next 3 months, buying leads 12 times over 12 weeks. That's where you lie, because there's people that weren't home, people that just don't answer your phone number. You try them from a different phone. There are people that just are gone. You go door knock them. Guess what happens? I just don't answer phone numbers we don't recognize. Now, in a virtual environment, you're not really door knocking, but you can try texting, you can try fast people search. There's a bunch of different angles. But you've built up a repository of thousands, tens of thousands of people that want to buy life insurance. How many total clients do you have, Drake? You do know ballpark? Is it 300, 500, 200, 180?
No. You could ask me about all my other numbers, Greg.
I know you know all your KPIs. You still know how many total clients you have.
No, that's a good one. It's probably because we just started nurturing them in Lead Champ Pro. So I would have to go in and pull.
Yes,
it's probably less than 150.
So okay, we'll use 150, and you've probably bought 5,000 leads.
Yeah, because I have 2,997 active leads that I'm working currently.
Okay, so what's that math? Is that if that's 3, it's at 150, you've sold 5% of your leads.
Nah, so it's probably more than that. Actually, if I think about all the guaranteed advantages for people who are sick and ill, it's probably closer to 350.
So accidental product, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but that's the understanding though too, is that let's just stick let's say you've sold 300, just for my easy, small, small brain. Out of your 3,000 leads, you sold 10%. That therein lies the problem with a new agent who doesn't understand that you're not going to sell everybody. Out of 10 leads, 5 have already, they just disappeared. They moved to Portugal and threw their phone number in the pool on the way out, and they're just never going to answer the phone. Now, Drake may get their new number somehow because he's an animal, but the reality though is that those other 5 is where your opportunity lies, because you're going to get a hold of them, not a good time. They're going to throw you rebuttals, objections. They're in the grocery store. Then they don't want to talk. And that's the follow-up. So you've got this repository of follow-up where an agent will come and they'll buy 10, they'll buy 20, they'll buy 50, they'll buy 100. They don't make 5, 10x their money back in the first week, and the business doesn't work. And then I got a guy like you who changed his life forever. So it's fun to look at numbers, bro. So, all right, I want you to get into some presentation type stuff. But anything else you want to share right now that triggered or it's on your heart to kind of before we get into the heavy IUL stuff?
Well, yeah, my partner Francesca just said there's 183 won leads in the last 280 days on LCP. So there's some math for you.
100. Help me with that.
183 won clients out of 280 leads.
183 won. Is that a new number?
No, 183 won. So that means sold clients.
One.
Yeah, one in the last 280 days.
Okay, perfect. Okay, cool. So we're 7%. Okay, 7% on top producers in the entire company. So what does that mean? You got to have a lot of at-bats, a lot of chances, have some conversations. So, but that's fun. It's fun to have at-bats. It's fun to have conversations. So thank you, Francesca, for helping us with that. 183 won. Like, what are we doing here? We got it.
Winning.
So let's keep rolling. Let's talk about your transition from mortgage protection to IUL. Was that hard? Was that easy? Was that necessary? What do you think? Because you were a mortgage protection machine. And
it's the same thing, Grady.
Same thing.
It's the same thing. You just need a person on the phone and you have to identify very quickly what they're going to qualify for. So I don't look for the IUL. Honestly, the best IUL leads have are mortgage protection blue collar clients.
Got it.
But it's just identifying what they're going to qualify for and then selling what can be sold, because the psychology of the sale, it's not they want it because they want a Ferrari, they want a car because they got to drive to work. So it's just whether or not they're qualified. And if they are not, then congratulations, we got you some guaranteed advantage. You just have to go with what they're going to qualify for.
Got it.
The transition wasn't hard. The whole time when I went on the cruise, it was just strange because I didn't know what they were and I came from banking. So it was like, wow, these are really super elite. But the actual process to submit and understanding of it is very, very basic. I remember when I started, everyone was doing final expense and only elite people were really good and focused on MP. And I'm like, that's just marketing. It's just life insurance. It's either term or whole life or now IUL, right? You just have to identify the need, qualify them, and then put them in the right product so it doesn't charge off and you get paid and the client's happy and they hopefully refer you more clients.
I love it. Okay, so let's dig into some. I want to get in IULs, but I would love for people to hear your script because you're a one-call close machine. You've done appointments and you've had 18 appointments on a Saturday, and the universe was not in your favor. And 18 people did not answer the phone with multiple texts, Calendly reminders, emails, hit them from multiple different phone numbers. They all moved to Portugal and threw their phone in the pool before they moved. So that's happened. So you've now really transitioned heavily to being a one-call close machine. You use a power dialer, you're calling like crazy, and when you get someone on the phone, you hook them. So that's important for people to learn. Will you talk about what you do, what you say, kind of first 30, 60, 90 seconds to when you get someone on the phone, how you take control, or anything you want to add to that first part I just covered?
Yep. Pretty easy. So the key target for me is that you have information that you can get them to keep saying yes to. So, immediately it's like, Steve, I've been trying to get a hold of you. Huh? Is this your email? Yeah. Is this the best phone number still, right? Who is this? You requested information for cash accumulation, life insurance. Does that ring a bell? What? No, I didn't. Oh, really? On this date? Oh, okay. Is this still your address? Is this your mortgage amount? Whatever you have that can get them saying yes is essential to keep them on the phone. Once I do that, they already have a text message with my website that has all my 40 something state licenses, like, oh, it's just required by law. The state wants you to set, eyes on it real quick. If you could take a peek at that real quick. That's like the hook for them. You have to get credibility. The second they somewhat open up to you, or if they really remember doing it and they're really interested, then it's the qualifying part has to be like the first 3 minutes. So Grady, this is what the process is going to look like. Real quickly, I'm going to need you probably have your social security memorized, right? Yes. Great. I'm going to need that for the Medical Information Bureau and HIPAA. You familiar with that? No. Okay, I'll explain it to you. Don't worry about it, but you have it memorized, right? Yep. Great. And obviously you have your driver's license memorized, right? Yep. Okay, great. And it's not suspended. It's an active driver's license. Yep. No, not suspended. Okay, great. And then the last thing we're going to do is validate your account number, because we got to make sure that it's not your cousin in Alabama applying for an account in your name. Does that make sense? Yeah. Why do you need that again? Here, I want you to go back and look at the link I just sent you, because I had a live scan done 75 times last year so that I could provide these services to you. And without those first 3 things, I can't even move forward. Oh, but I just want to quote, you know what? It'd be completely unethical for me to give you one, because we're all blood, water, and oxygen, without me pulling up those 3 things and identifying who you are and getting an consent form from you. I'd be doing the wrong thing for you. Does that make sense? That's kind of the opener. You know what I mean, Grady? It hasn't changed since the first 90 days, 100 grand.
You're just very direct out the gate. You're not looking for tire kickers. You want
if they're tire, well, because if they, first of all, 90% of the people are liars and they're going to not get qualified. So the faster you can get through the application, the more you can add value when you're like, hey, you know what? If you had told me about the DUIs twice in 5 years, I could have recommended this. So like I had mentioned, you see those 30 carriers at the bottom of the site. I work for you. I come with the policy. I don't work for them. So the more you tell me, the better I can recommend, because I've heard everything. Does that make sense? You got to break them down, but the sooner you get through it and you submit, then people like, oh, well, I only have Cash App. I had fraud. I can't do anything. Okay, well, I'm going to give you a homework assignment then. You got to go open a bank account like every other person on the planet, because you can't get an insurance policy if you don't have one. Does that make sense? Like that, the driver's license. And if they're super scared about the social, it's a not now campaign. Talk to you next time and just move to the next.
Okay. So I love all that, right? Take control, assert your position. We talk about being the doctor-patient relationship. Doctor tells you to do something, you do it. You don't challenge a doctor. They're a doctor. But what are you saying in the 30, 60 seconds before that so that you mentioned a link, you talk about that. What are you saying? Like, open the call to like, I'm calling on behalf of X, Y, or Z. What are you saying to it to like go, I want to continue to communicate with this person? How do we top of the call?
Hey, Grady, I'm just getting back to you about the request you just submitted last week. Huh? Yeah. Is this your birthday? So I kind of want to stump them. I don't even want to go tell them like everything. I don't say mortgage protection anymore like I used to. I don't even say life insurance anymore. I just have to stump them and then I'll ease into it.
Okay. 12/19/83. What's
12/19/83?
That's my birthday.
Oh, perfect. And is this the best phone number for you still?
Yes, 928. Or I don't want to give my phone number out, but
great.
Yeah.
So I see it. I see it just popped up blue on my phone. So you're using Apple. Do you see that link I sent you?
Yeah, I see it.
Perfect. If you just want to take a quick peek at that, go ahead and click on that. You'll be able to validate who I am, since I already have your information.
Okay.
Perfect.
That's a nice website.
Great. And if you want to go ahead and scroll down, you'll see I'm the funny bald guy. And that's my partner, Francesca. She's the beautiful female next to me. You got stuck with me because we're both real busy. Scroll down to the bottom. You're going to see a bunch of companies you've probably heard of before. Mutual of Omaha, AIG, Transamerica. Do any of those look familiar?
So you're using a third-party website through LeadChamp Pro that is a credibility website. So you have a simple website. You upload a couple pictures, your licenses. They build you a website that comes into a simple link. And then you're now on the initial call, you're taking that link and texting it to them so that there's an additional level of credibility, right?
They've already gotten it before the appointment.
They
Yeah.
have. They probably haven't looked at it, but now you're reaffirming, right? We want to increase credibility, reduce sales pressure. That's always our goal. And so in this mindset, you're giving them a simple link while you're on the phone with them. They're scrolling through, they hear you talking, they're looking at the companies, et cetera. So that's it. Now, at what point are you saying you feel that a request to learn more about Index Universal Life?
So once they do that, I go, you probably remember the commercial, and then you got verified via email. It was a big, funny, big, fat Irish Italian guy like me talking to you about the best kept secret in America, and be like, oh yeah, I remember that. Or it's very specific. It's another African American female, blah blah blah, who's talking about mortgage protection, and then they remember, and then from there, I'm like, so my job is to just submit a request today. You can't buy this. We just have to see if you qualify. So it's going to take me less than 10 minutes to do that. I really just have a couple basic questions to get started if we have the time today, because I'm pretty busy. And then I kind of lure them in.
So what are the questions you're asking? Let's keep going.
So that would go right back to the first. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm just going to kind of tell you what's expected for me to submit a request. So Grady, do you have your social security number memorized? I'm assuming you do.
Yes.
Great. I'm going to need that.
Okay.
I'm going to need your driver's license number. Do you have that memorized?
No, I don't know who does, but I can get it out of my wallet.
Perfect. You want to go ahead and get a hold of that.
Do you have your driver's license? You have your driver's license number?
Yeah, I do.
Who needs that?
I don't know. I haven't gotten a ticket in 20 years, but yeah.
Go ahead. Okay.
The reason I say, do you have it memorized, is because people will say they do, or they have to find it, or it's in their car, or they have an excuse, and then kind of right away.
Okay.
Yeah, and then last we're going to need to validate who you are and that you have an account in good standing. Where do you bank at, Grady?
Chase.
Oh, great. And did you open it in New York in Chase, or did you open it there in Arizona?
Arizona.
Okay. The reason I asked that is because the routing numbers are different. And when we authenticate who you are, it's going to immediately register where you opened it. So I want to make sure the routing number that I pull up on their website is going to match with the account that you have. And just last thing, is the account in your name?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let me get your physical address.
Okay.
Perfect. And who would the beneficiary be if you got hit by a truck next week?
My wife, Chantel.
Great. And her birthday?
March 1st, 84.
Perfect. And I'll get her number when we get you the approval. Now, what's your social?
Boom. Okay. So you're just going right into it there. So when do I get to learn about IULs? After I play by your rules. This is you being the doctor in control. I'm in the waiting room right now with
Perfect
Mary,
question.
and
Great
I'm
question.
picking up the papers by myself right now, and then
Great.
eventually to see you.
Great question. So I just wanted to get some information about infinite banking, or be my own bank, or about borrowing against my life insurance policy. That's great. I'm not a professor at Stanford because I don't have time. If you don't get qualified, I'd love to be a teacher and just educate, the general population of the whole United States on IULs, but I don't have the time to do that because they're all hypothetical if you don't qualify. And to be honest, 80% of people don't. So I'm going to find something you do qualify for, and it's going to make sense, and we'll go from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Got to shut them down right away because everybody wants all the secret sauce. They just want information. If you pull up a quote and show it to them, you might as well be dead in the water. I never give them a quote ever until they qualify, unless it's a really strong buyer and they're going into NLG and it's a very strong buyer.
Okay. All right. Anything else here? Because otherwise, let's jump into the illustrations.
Okay. Nope.
Okay. Well, here we go. Okay. So I asked Drake to create two scenarios for an IUL presentation, as what he's very, very good at and very direct at. I had no idea you're so mean to people, but you're very
I'm a little mean.
You're very like, I don't want to be your friend. Real quick, can we take a poll from the audience? Yes or no? Do you have your driver's license memorized? Because I'm feeling very like, Mo, do you have yours? You both of you? Do you have your driver's license memorized? Because when am I using that? What do you use it for? I don't set up that many things. Because you do set it up for me. That's right. Dang it. That makes a lot of sense. All right, Brett and Sheila both. All right, I'm way outnumbered here. I apologize to all of you who have your. Oh, Greg doesn't. See that? Greg and I. There we go. Many of our clients do. Too funny. Sorry, Drake. I just went caught off guard here. So I asked Drake to compile 2 different hypotheticals, which would be the most common situations you'll see. So, China, can you help him blow it up, or can you zoom in more? You got your your gigantic screen is making it the words look like 2-point font. So we need you to Command plus and zoom in. Just Command plus on the keyboard. It'll zoom in the screen. Or Control plus. Come on, something. There you go. We're getting it. We're figuring it out. See, live tech support right now.
Yeah, that's outside my scope of knowledge. I'm not the techie. That'd be my partner.
Going. More zoom. One more.
Dude, then I'm not
going to read it. Yeah, good, China? China says it's good. Okay.
Okay, now that I'm dizzy. Yeah, so this is awesome client number 1, Grady, typically a 45-year-old male. And, you know, basically I've already identified some things. So the client, yeah, of course that's going to happen. The client was very willing to give all of his information right off the bat. Sometimes too eager can be a problem. If they're a little bit too eager, sometimes I'm looking at the cost of insurance and putting it through Americo first to qualify them.
Okay.
Because it just makes more sense to do that because it's faster.
We unshared for you, so there was no personal information being
There
shared.
wasn't.
Okay, cool.
No problem. We're good. Yeah. Okay, cool. So at this point, I already feeling pretty good about the awesome client. Number 1, 49-year-old male. He made it pretty clear that he's just looking to do cash accumulation, and he's in California and he really wants living benefits. So this is pretty simple. Those of you that aren't familiar with NLG should become familiar with it. There's a lot of great stuff out there.
Touch on living benefits real quick while you're going through this.
What?
Give a living benefit pitch real quick while you're going through this.
I'll give that pitch when I show you the illustration. I'm not giving it all away.
I'm going to stop talking right now, Drake. You're in charge. Okay, I don't want to get yelled at anymore.
No, I love it when you call me out on my shit. So minimum death benefit, max cash accumulation is pretty much what anyone who's really interested in IULs is going to want. You really would only jump between balanced death benefit based on target premium if it was a really, really good client that needed the living benefits and really wanted this product and they were on a real tight budget. Protection focus is just going to jump it to like $1 million policy, and it's going to add a fat like 350, not really a rider, but just protection focused. So minimum death benefit is kind of where I'm always at, or balanced death benefit. So minimum death benefit is the most common I see. And then most common is monthly. When you go to the specify amount or solve type, just leave it none and just put in what their budget is. So this is really important, is, you know, what I've identified talking to the client, because this is an illustration, right? This is not submitting. So they don't even see this. Even though I'm on Crankwheel and I can show them the data entry, I don't actually show them the illustration first. I show them where I'm putting their driver's license, their social. And I start with the address because it's the least of all evils that they're going to give to you right away. So they can see my screen on Crankwheel, doing the application, put in their address like it's no big deal. What's the social? Okay, great. I don't even need the driver's license until like, you know, the next consent form. So just being very creative about the way you do it. But long story short, most common I see is about 10 times their age or more. A lot of guys are doing about $1,000, 800 to 2,000 a month, depending on what their goals are. But you want to know what their budget is and uncover the money. It's so important. I can't tell you how many I get qualified, and then they come back and they're like, oh, but I have this much, or oh, I had this happen, or oh, that was, you know, my bonus next year. So identify it as soon as possible so that you can start with the right amount.
How do you do that?
Well, for me, identifying it is, you know, doing the old banking trick. So, okay, so you have Chase. That's great, Grady. So do you keep FDIC money over there? What do you ballpark keeping there on any given Thursday afternoon? What's your average balance? To make something up.
$2,000.
Okay, great. And then do you have a 401k that you're currently participating with your current company?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, great. And do you have an old one from your last employer?
No.
Okay. And what credit union are you using?
I don't use a credit union.
Okay. And out of the you're using Chase, so I'm assuming you have B of A, Wells Fargo, US Bank, Citibank. Which other ones do you have credit cards in your wallet or debit cards right now?
Capital One.
Okay. And is that a checking or savings?
Just a credit card.
Okay. Well, you're a rare animal. And then immediately also, so your 401k, do you know who manages it?
Principal.
Okay. And do you have your own investment account there as well?
No.
What about Schwab?
No.
Smith Barney?
Do you want me to be rich, or am I being? See, this is why I don't role play, China, because I don't know how to answer correctly.
No, it's okay. It's a great example because a lot of people will say no at first until they get warm and fuzzy to you. But the rule of thumb is your budget was low, $2,000 on an average amount. But anybody that has more than 10 grand on average, they have probably two of the 5 big banks. So Citi, B of A, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, US Bank. That's an automatic rule. Everybody has an online bank or a free bank or a credit union, and almost everybody's got Robinhood or some type of investment account. That's just part one. But you have to say the names of it to them, like assume it.
Got it.
What credit cards do you have? Assume they have a bank account at least 2 of whatever companies they have a credit card at.
Okay.
That's where you find the money. And then also, how much is your house worth? If you were to sell it, what would that look like? Oh, okay. So then, is that your largest asset? Hinting. Oh, it's not. Okay. So you have to find the money. And then also, what industry do you work in? Sales. Oh, great. So you get quarterly bonuses. Are those controlled by how much you sell or by the corporation? Can they change anytime? And then I always say, well, how much cash do you have in the gun safe or under the mattress? Every time. That's how I find the money. That's how I did it in 2004 at Wells Fargo. I do it the same way now.
And your goal, though, is to find out with a comfortable monthly payment number, though. Yes.
Yes.
So did you pick 1,000? Did they pick 1,000? Did you back them into the corner?
No. I would do a financial review based on what I learned and based on how sketchy or confident they are, and if they're a homeowner, what kind of car they drive. This was based off of this. This is the average that I'm seeing for blue collar folks that are between 49 and 55. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Keep going. I'm going to stop talking.
Okay. So, so put the dollar amount in there. Very cool. Very, very simple. Like when you're on with the client or you just want to fact check yourself really quick, you always look at year 11. So year 11 right here, they're going to be, making their money back in their accumulated / surrender value. So right away, Mr. Customer, you got $555,000 of living benefits or death benefit, but God forbid you get sick and live, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle over awesome customer number 1. Okay. Is that too big?
Just hit the green button in the corner.
It's only a 49-inch monitor that's curved.
No, we can tell. It's gigantic. Now keep zooming.
And I have 2 of them.
Great. All right. So now we're looking at a client-facing illustration packet.
Right. So just when you're, I don't think on Zoomed I can do it the way I want to, Grady.
It's working fine for me.
Hold on. It's going to be this. It's jumping all the way to the bottom.
Maybe unclick the green then.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a nightmare.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I could never digest that. That would be too slow. Okay. So going back to this really quick, there's puzzle pieces. One thing I like about National Life Group, if I die too soon, become ill, live too long, I really don't go too deep onto this at all because it's all changes based on age. So people see this, I'm just like, hey, if you get hit by, a car tomorrow, your wife's going to be left with this money. And then if you look at this, at these ages, you're going to have this accumulated value that you can borrow against. I just touch on it. We'll circle back to that later. This is the part people are the most interested in, is the terminal illness, chronic illness, critical injury, critical illness, and then Alzheimer's, which NLG is known for, which is amazing because it's happening to so many folks, men and women. But going back to where I was telling them they broke even at 10 years, so we can put this in layman's terms, I'm just going to pass all this stuff up. I've watched Juan, Zach, watched numerous people do these, and none of it they go through. First of all, you don't have them approved yet. Typically, I won't even do this illustration until after I've done all the data entry on the other screen. But just for sake of time and for teaching folks,
we appreciate you teaching us.
I don't know how good of a teacher I am, but I'll try.
Hey,
more of a whip cracker.
Take it.
Follow if you dare.
Blood, water, oxygen.
That's right. Okay, so we'll just go right here really quick. So this is a hypothetical, 20-year historical data. And the only part that's going to really make any sense to you, Mr. Customer, is this 5-year average is 14.19, 10 years, 12.6, 15 years, 14.21, 20 years. So you get the point. So you see this 6.44, right? Yeah. Well, that's because we want to shoot for the moon, land on the stars, right? Or land on the moon, shoot for the stars. So we want to under promise, over deliver. So we can't illustrate higher than that. But you can see without 9/11 in the 20-year historical data, this is basically what this illustration's done. But this is what we're going to show you it's illustrated at. So now if I go back to this one and you look at that 10-year mark or 11-year mark, when you're like, hey, you've put in 120 and you've got 130 in your surrender / bank account value, but that was illustrated at 6.44. What was the 20-year historical average there, Grady? 14.9?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. So just to keep that in mind, we're going to under promise, over deliver. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Perfect. And then you just toggle back and forth. So anyone who's not familiar, if they want to change the dollar amount, you would just go right back to quick view. For this, I didn't do that because there's just really no need to. All these different riders, they can go on for days. Again, the people who taught me, don't touch any of them. You just don't need them unless there's something very specific. And if they do, get on the phone with NLG and see why. Literally just with these 4 clicks, you can fully illustrate everything you need. And then it's just going to automatically populate that beautiful report we were just looking at. So we'll come back over here real quick and I'm going to show it to you a little prettier. Okay, here it is. Cool. So, Mr. Customer, this is you, Mr. Awesome Customer number 1. This is year 10. We just talked about 120 in. Shows you clearing that at year 11 with 130 in your bank / surrender account. Because remember, they're a life insurance company, not a bank. So they have to say cash surrender. But if you cash surrender, that means you get capital gains. So we're going to recommend that you always borrow against yourself. Does that make sense? Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was interested in. Good. So from this point, I'll usually highlight for the client, say death benefit / living benefit, focus on that. Every time I say cash surrender, I want you to think about be your own bank and borrowing from yourself. And accumulated value, I want you to think about as this company's indexing your money for you, regardless of the market conditions. So you're at 0 risk of losing this column. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Cool. So year 11, let's say you borrow 120, you've got 10,000 left in your bank account. Your accumulated value stays the same and continues to grow. If you pay that 120 back in the first year, it's like Amex. There's no charge. It just goes back in there and keeps growing. 365 days past day 1. Or you could take a fixed loan at 5%. So Grady, if you're borrowing 120 at 5% and you're indexing at 6.44, how much are you borrowing? What's the cost on that percentage? 1.44, right? So if it's indexing at the 20-year historical information that I showed you between 12 and 14.9, how much are you paying on that loan?
Not good at math. Help me out.
Are you following me? Nothing. Okay, so let's say, Mr. Customer, God forbid you borrow from the 120 out of the 130 and you die that year. What's going to happen is that's going to come out of your face value that you're leaving your wife. There's not going to be any capital gains. You're not going to pay any fees, and your wife's still going to get the remainder of that death benefit. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So when do we start taking income? You're pulling it out of the.
That's the other scenario, Grady. You asked for the most common. They don't even want to see that. So here's why. So for this example, a 45-year-old male, when you start taking income, and it'll make more sense when I show you the other one. But if you look at this one, when he's 64, he's put in 240, he's got 351, and that's on the low side. Okay, so if he still pays it, it's still growing. So do you want to see 20,000 a year tax-free income, or do you want to see $500,000 growing in your account that you can borrow against? Most people want to see how much it can do. Of course, when they're approved, when I have them log into the NLG app, which I've shared with them from my phone, and I'm like, you're not signing in. We're actually going to register you with your social now that you've paid your first premium. That's where the secret sauce comes out, and I show them the controls in the palm of their hand. I don't do any of that until it's approved and they've actually paid their first premium. It's just too much work and takes too long.
Sure.
Okay. So that's why this one is built this way, where he's paying it for the rest of his life, because when he's 85 years old, he's put in $500,000, but he's got 1.7 in there, and his death benefit's now 1.8, right? So it's still, you can't get that kind of return. It's very risky to try to get that in the stock market or anywhere else. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So what questions do you have about this one? Then I'll go to the other illustration.
No, just for time, let's jump to the other one and show that one real quick, because that's the one that gets me excited. I do like seeing $500,000 sitting in that account, but I also like, tax-free retirement income that you can mentally as budget against in the future, which I think that's.
So watch when you see the difference. Awesome customer number 2. Okay, so this is a 39-year-old male who wants to see what the income looks like. So 6,000, so $500 a month. So see the difference right here. When he's 65 years old, he stops paying it. So he's got 393 of death benefit, living benefits, and he's got a cash accumulation of 327. So 22,000, right, a year, and it goes up. But take a look at how much it goes down. So when this guy's 80 years old, his death benefit's gone down to 232. So for a younger person, it makes more sense. But when they're already in their 50s, it drains their death benefit fairly quickly because the cost of insurance is pretty expensive. And them taking this automatically every year is going to drain the death benefit significantly. So I've done quite a few different illustrations, and I've called 100 times in the last 3 months and had them walk me through it. It's the only way you could get good at this is just, I don't know how to do it. Tell me, show me, and do it over and over and over and over again, like I did with F&G for 3 months. I choose this system. It just tends to work the easiest customer facing for me and for my clients. If you do the math, so we can jump into the illustration. It'll show you exactly how much they get back. But you look at when he's 85 years old, his death benefit's gone down. So if it's somebody who's not leaving any money to their family and they're well off and they're doing tax avoidance in a way, or they're just looking for tax-free income and it's just for themselves, then it makes sense. But a lot of the folks I see do want to leave their legacy going forward, and they don't need this amount, but they want the option to borrow it if they need it.
Options. That's the key word. You got options. They want a lump sum. They want tax-free retirement income. They want living benefits. They want a death benefit. We can structure something in place. And I love that you've chosen. I love that you like NLG. NLG's a phenomenal company we have a great partnership with. We got a lot of great IUL carriers. Pick your favorite and just build a relationship with someone in the home office. They'll support you continuously. Awesome. Any final thoughts as we close this out, Drake?
Nope. Any questions, Grady? That's the majority of the sauce.
Jay had one question, said, if you get them on the phone, how comfortable are they running through illustrations on their phone screen?
Use crank wheel. If you're not using crank wheel, I highly recommend it. It's more friendly than other share platforms and faster.
Nice.
So, like I said, I ultimately want to get the data collection first and make a recommendation based on what comes back. So I typically won't even make a recommendation till after they've done the first acknowledgement form and the second one. So the HIPAA and the submission request.
Got it. So guys, this is heavier class. This was a 304 IUL. There was some heavier, thicker stuff in here, which you get to, right? We all start college at English 101, and they make you write a 5-paragraph essay on Frankenstein. And it's probably longer than 5-paragraph essay, but that is where we start. That's whole life and term. And this is something where Drake has gotten himself to. As you heard him say, he knocked out 90 or 100,000 in his first 3 months. Well, his first month was like 12, and his second month was like 30, and his fourth month was like 50, or third month, whatever the math, but you get better, right?
Grady, my first 15 days was 27. My second month was 24. My third month was 59. Sorry, a little correction on that.
Stat correction. Thank you. We got Stephen A just popped in for a stat correction right there. So we appreciate that. But regardless, wherever you are, like Drake is just, there's only so much we can cover in so much detail that you're putting through when getting feedback from a client. IULs, guys, are a fascinating, phenomenal product. I own 6. I have 4 children, and I have a wife, and I have myself. So I have 6. We're big proponents in it. I put a lot of money away each month. I believe in the product. If I die, my wife will be very well off. So, go hit her up for something. But I got a lot of life insurance, and I'm a big believer. And my opinion of it is neither here nor there. But this is a great asset to your business as a business owner who has a life insurance license. There's only one person on the phone when you're calling your leads or with your meeting with your clients that has a life insurance license and is a life insurance broker, and that's you. And so this might have been the whole goal of this is to go, well, there's products that I have licensed the ability to make a lot of money and create some cool stuff and help people. That's what I want you to take away this call from. Whether we're doing whole life and term, getting started, we're moving into IULs and annuities, wherever you are, we're excited you're here. Drake, final thoughts. What are your goals? I'm sure you got goals galore. Is there a year-end goal you've got? Is there a next year goal? Is it a team goal? I need a couple goals stated that we can reflect back on.
It's a team goal. So our logo, which hopefully is approved this month, since I'm a team of 2 or 3 now, but 2 producing for F&D Financial Solutions, which is Francesca and Drake, right? Our goal is to do $4 million next year.
$4 million issue paid. Mm-hmm. Is there a blend of products, or is it all IULs, annuities, both?
No, absolutely. It's simplified issued all day, guaranteed advantage all day, and these as much as you can possibly do. It's really sell what they qualify for, but sell something, right? Because we're taking care of someone, so they had a need, help them.
Amen, bro. It's a great mindset. Drake, I appreciate you so much. Take this for what it is, but I'm beyond proud of you of what you've done here and what you're doing and what you're continuing to do and the life you're building for yourself. So it's incredible to get to work alongside you. I know Jade and China appreciate the 13 times you call a day. And I'm just joking, bro. But we appreciate you, man. We're proud of you. And we're excited to see what you're doing here now and in the future. Because it's these aren't average and ordinary numbers. These aren't common man numbers. They are absolute elite producer numbers. It means you're helping a lot of people and you're taking care of your own family. So proud of you, proud to work with you, and excited to see what you do now here into the future, bro.
Thanks, Grady. It's a pleasure to be here, really.
All right, bro. Talk soon. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Go to YouTube if you'd like to watch any of our 500 other training videos where I don't talk as much and with the trainer talks majority of the time. We've got tons and tons of training content on recruiting, agency building, final expense, whole life, IULs, annuities, all kinds of different training. If you're not getting the answers, it's because you're not looking for them. And we do our absolute best to put this stuff together, to put it out there and to help you go get better. But I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day. I appreciate you, Drake, so much. And here now and in the future, let me know if we can be of any service to you. Without that, have a great day. Bye for now.